Thank you so much, Mr. President. And of course, before I begin, I want to thank my deputy leader, Senator Mike Gianaris, for once again helping guide through the debates of the day. I also want to thank his counterpart. Is this your birthday too? Oh, happy birthday. This is probably not your birthday present. But we're going to get out early, so you're okay. So thank you, Senator Lanza, and of course to the minority leader, Bob Ord, and to the ranker, Tom O'Mara. And of course, a special acknowledgement to the wonderful Senator Kruger, who, again, countless hours spent on trying to get through what we know is only the beginning of one of the most important things we do here. I also want to thank Governor Hochul and Speaker Hasty for our year-round partnership. And again, I'm always grateful that we are collectively rowing in the same direction. I want to offer my deep gratitude to our staffs on both sides of the aisle because none of this is really easy. But I particularly want to thank my senior staff and their crew, starting with Jonathan Lang. Where are you, Jonathan? Back there somewhere, okay. The Secretary of the Majority Council and Program, Dorothy Powell, the Council, Chris Friend, brand new Finance Secretary, did a great job for your first time out. Of course, Mike Murphy, our Communications Director, Emily Brueggemann, Deputy Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, and all the staff member whose hard work and dedication made our One House possible. So let's give them applause. Okay. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank my amazing Senate Majority Conference, who have spent untold hours not only in hearings but on Zooms, and thank you always for your invaluable input. I have to look back here and there. For your invaluable input and for your constant advocacy, not only on behalf of your own districts, but on behalf of all the people of New York State. Today, we're advancing a one-house budget resolution that defends our values, lowers costs for families across multiple sectors, and delivers for all New Yorkers across the state. Families are facing high costs. Municipalities are being asked to do more with less, and once again, we're seeing harmful actions out of Washington that threaten essential programs people rely on every day. We've seen cuts to health care, to food assistance, to public benefits, and other basic supports that help keep families afloat. New Yorkers are under pressure, and I hear from constituents every day in the same way you do about the stresses they feel in order to keep their lights on and to keep food on the table. I talk to young people who are uncertain about their job prospects, and they're worried about whether they can pursue higher education. Every year throughout this process, I say and we say that budgets are about our priorities. And this fiscally responsible and balanced budget resolution reflects our priorities. It protects essential services, it supports local communities, it invests in long-term economic opportunity, and it does ask those who can most afford it to contribute more so we can continue meeting the needs of working people across this state. Our responsible revenue measures ensure the wealthiest individuals, large corporations, and luxury industries pay their fair share. At a time when federal threats and economic uncertainty are putting enormous pressure on our state and our local governments, we're taking responsible action to generate sustainable revenue so municipalities can continue delivering vital services and families can get the support they need. We're also continuing our affordability agenda with targeted investments that help New Yorkers lower everyday costs. That includes working towards universal childcare, which you heard over and over again today, expanding access across the entire state, supporting the child care workforce with a $500 million investment, beginning implementation of 2 care seats in New York City, and helping ensure more families can actually access the care they need. We're building on the work we've already done to lower energy costs, strengthening energy affordability. New Yorkers have long been burdened by some of the highest utility rates in the country, with little to no transparency about how these rates are determined. And this cold winter has only exacerbated the strain these high bills place on businesses, yes, and on families struggling to keep their heat on. This budget invests hundreds of millions of dollars in energy affordability and advances utility reforms to provide greater transparency, greater accountability, and fairness for ratepayers. New Yorkers deserve utility bills they can understand, a process they can trust, and a government that is willing to stand up for them when costs go too high. We also continue our strong commitment to education and youth opportunity with greater investments into our school districts to provide the proper resources so that every child, regardless of their zip code, has the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to succeed, not just during the school day, but beyond it. We support expanding We support expanding the success of universal school meals by growing the Farm to School program to include breakfast and snacks. We're strengthening foundation aid with additional investments for high-needs students, increasing transportation aid, supporting universal pre-K, investing in community schools, after-school programming, tutoring, libraries, civic education, youth employment, and yes, youth sports. We're also expanding higher education opportunities. This budget increases financial aid for students, supports workforce training programs, invests in SUNY, CUNY, and community colleges. We're providing millions in tuition assistance, making it easier for our students to access this crucial help. We're expanding nursing programs across the state, supporting a bilingual educator pipeline. Higher education remains one of the clearest pathways to opportunity, and we must keep this path open and affordable, even as the federal government cuts down on your opportunity to borrow so that you can indeed contribute. On health care, this budget sends a clear message. New York will protect care, protect coverage, and protect people. At a time when federal actions threaten to destabilize healthcare access, we're directing the Department of Health to minimize coverage losses while strengthening support for financially distressed and rural hospitals, nursing homes, health centers, and long-term care providers. It also advances lower prescription drug costs, and we're providing funding, yes, for gender-affirming care in the wake of the federal administration's attack on health care for the LGBTQ+ communities. We continue major investments in reproductive freedom and maternal health. New York will remain a firewall for reproductive freedom and a state that continues to confront maternal health disparities head-on. We're also strengthening mental health and behavioral health services because we know it all matters. We're also standing with our brothers and sisters in labor by strengthening labor protections, cracking down on wage theft, and we remain committed as a conference to reforming Tier 6 and improving benefits so that a career in public service can continue to be a pathway to stability, security, and dignified retirement. This budget restores and increases arts funding, supports tourism, and downtown revitalization. It redesigns AIM, which we have increased over the past few years, so it works better for our municipalities. On housing, the Senate continues to take decisive action to expand affordable housing, prevent homelessness, protect homeowners and tenants, We're investing in rental assistance, public housing, and home ownership opportunities through the New York First Home Savings Program, while strengthening support for NYCHA, Mitchell-Lama preservation, and raising the SCREE and DREE thresholds. We continue to lead on climate, resilience, and clean water, and under the belief that investments in renewable energy will continue to lower energy costs for New Yorkers. This budget restores $1 billion for the Sustainable Futures Program, increases the Environmental Protection Fund, increases clean water funding to work towards lead pipe remediation, private well testing, and drinking water grants. We invest in our local infrastructure, expand transit safety and affordability. This budget builds on our past historic investment in CHIPS funding, which, as you know, continues to support our roads and infrastructures, and we provide resources to our crucial public transit systems in New York City and across the state. We're continuing to value our New York farms and the agriculture industry that sustains our state's economy. We know that without farmers, we won't have food on our tables. We're making targeted investments in safer communities, including increased funding for successful community violence prevention programs like SNUG, and providing help for our local law enforcement and first responders. We're strengthening human rights and justice by investing in legal services, including additional funding for the Office of New Americans. And we remain committed to achieving the goals of New York for All with our partners to advance solutions that protect immigrant families and ensure that every community in our state is treated with respect. As we progress through this budget process, I welcome the challenging yet necessary conversations and negotiations with the executive, with the Assembly. The Senate Democratic majority remains united in our commitment to ensuring New York remains an affordable, equitable, and resilient place to live. And I look forward, as I'm sure you all do, to the work ahead as we continue negotiating a final budget that ultimately delivers for the people of New York State. So thank you for your work. And of course, we've only just begun. And just for everybody, this is the end of the beginning. Monday will be the beginning of the middle. Thank you very much, Mr. President.